Democratic presidential candidates have a big test today as 14 states and one U.S. territory will cast their ballots for the nominee. One of those states is Texas, where more than 200 delegates are at stake. Joe Biden picked up key endorsements yesterday, including El Paso Congresswoman Veronica Escobar and former presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke. The two newest dropouts, Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar, also endorsed Biden. So CBS News correspondent Omar Villafranca is in Dallas this morning. Omar, Texas is like one of the biggies, right? You want to win Texas and you want to win California. And if you can win both, chances are you've got the whole thing locked up. But you were at Biden's rally last night with Klobuchar and O'Rourke. How significant was Klobuchar's last-minute endorsement to voters at that event?
It was interesting because we actually talked to people who were either voting for Mayor Pete or for Amy Klobuchar. But when Klobuchar threw her basically support behind Biden, they said, we're here now. We are on Team Biden. So there was a very unifying message last night at that rally, which honestly in this Democratic primary, you're not really seeing a lot of. So it was interesting to see. Beto O'Rourke was the last addition. Mayor Pete was at a different event with Biden here in Dallas. He didn't show up to the second event where Amy Klobuchar was. But let me tell you, there was loud roars from people. They were seeing former candidates, people who were foes during the debate, on stage with each other, and it was the first of the unifying message for the Democratic Party on the moderate wing. And that was another theme that we were hearing. I talked to some voters who told me here in Texas, they're Texas Democratic voters, who were saying to them Bernie Sanders is a little bit too liberal for them. And they were also worried about how that would affect down-ticket races. So it was interesting to see a lot of people there who maybe supported Mayor Pete or Amy Klobuchar, now they're for Biden and cheering him on.
So, you know, in South Carolina, voters had to, or rather candidates had to win over the African-American voters. In Texas, we're talking about Hispanic and Latino voters that make up 40% of the electorate in Texas. So what's important to them? What are the issues that those voters are talking about?
I talked to some Latino voters, some of them who, one who voted early in Super Tuesday and for Biden, another one who voted early for Buttigieg, who has since dropped out. But the issues were a lot of, dinner table issues. Healthcare was a big issue for them. I talked to one woman who, immigration, dreamers. She said she works with several teachers who are dreamers, and they're worried about their future currently in the Trump administration. And interesting enough, both of them were backing Biden. Granted, this was at the Biden event. I asked them, did they ever consider Sanders? And they said no. And that may be a little bit of a shock to people who have maybe been really entrenched in the Democratic primary to learn that there is a moderate wing of the Democratic Party that's actually coming out and talking. We got a first dose of it in South Carolina with Biden winning there. Question is, CBS polling has Sanders up here in Texas, but we're going to see how that pans out. So it's going to be very interesting. The Hispanic vote, they are motivated. There are events today in Houston that we know of. There's some events here in Dallas that are Latino get out the vote. So they got to head to the polls. The polls here open up not too long at 7 a.m. They're open from 7 to 7 here, so they're expecting a brisk day.
All right, Omar, thank you so much.